Good morning. Good morning, how are you? Let me tip this down just a little bit more. I sat down because I've been standing up roofing a house. Look at that. I'm gonna add the cedar shakes to this. It's gonna take a while to do that part. But as you come in this morning, let me know you're here. Say hello. I'll say hello to you. Hello, I'm Diane. We're live here at Two Girls Treasure in Florence, South Carolina. We are located at the PD State Farmers Market. This is a big week here at the farmers market. As long as we can hold off a hurricane, we'll see what we can do. This is the Fall Plant and Flower Festival weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday here at the PD State Farmers Market, there will be pumpkins and scarecrows and all manner of fall flowers. Good morning, Chris. Good morning. And of course, we'll be celebrating. And Thursday evening, we will celebrate by bringing you our pre-flower show live sale. That's Thursday evening from 6 p.m. until 7 p.m. And because it is our pre-flower show sale, we normally do it privately. We would normally open to our regular local customers from 6 to 7, but we don't have to do that way. If you're not here or you can't get here or you're just getting off work, well, we can use our live format and we can bring you some amazing deals, amazing discounts. And the sale will be open all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but the live sale deals and discounts will only be good during the live sale Thursday evening. Well, let's talk about this little dollhouse. I'm so excited to do this, and we have a special young lady that we are now finishing this for. So we need to make it super amazing. And if you've ever looked at the gingerbread kits, they have gummy drops and they have little candies and they have white frosting and of course gingerbread walls, and after Christmas they're no good. Well, this has to be so much better than that. So we're going to use a combination of our Iron Orchid Designs molds, both in our air dry clay and our precast resin. And I want to show you what I discovered before we went live. Good morning, Sharon. I hope you are excited as I am about this gingerbread dollhouse. All right, Gay, good morning. We are missing you. We really are. All right, let's take a look at the structure. Look at these cedar shakes going on. This is gonna look so cool. It's gonna take me a little while to put those on, and once they're on, then I'll cascade some snow down through there, and we'll use our Rethunk Junk paint, and we will also use our salt wash with glitter so that we can create an amazing, I'm going to flip you to dual view so I can talk to you at the same time. But I think with the salt wash, we'll get the texture of snow, and with the glitter, we'll get the glistening of snow as if the moon is shining. It needs to be magical because this is going to be for a special little girl. Now, I'm going to show you this precast resin mold, and I'm going to show it to you from the side because I've had it packed. So it has a little bow to it. So when your molds are bowed out just a little bit, or they're not exactly flat, there's an easy solution. You can grab your heat gun if you have one, your hair dryer if you don't. But what you want to do is just gently heat this. You want to be careful not to burn your hands because these get really hot. But if you gently reheat the resin, and I can speed this up and put it on high because I know you want to see as much as you can today. So I'm just going to heat this gently. I'll show you right here. Keep my fingers out of the way. I'm just going to heat this end. And I'm going to lay it down on the table and flatten it back out. I can't show you because I only have 2 cameras functional. But now it's flat. And you can adjust as you need to. And if I need to do this end, which I might, let's do this end too, just for good measure. These were in a bag that was a little bit too small for them. So I'll heat this up just a little bit. Don't get too close. Don't focus on one spot too long because it'll burn. It will scorch it and you'll get scorch marks. Don't use a butane torch. Especially don't use a butane torch in your molds. When you pour your casting resin in your molds, know this, with your quick cast, which is your white, you never need to heat this in your mold at all, ever. With your clear cast, don't use a butane torch at all. A butane torch will break down the silicone in your mold no matter how gently, lightly, quickly you cast over it to pop the bubbles. And eventually what will happen, or it might happen immediately, is that your silicone mold will break down and come apart. Don't use a butane torch with your casting resin. Please remember, this is a chemical compound, 2 parts that you mix together to create a chemical reaction, which creates this resin. Don't use a high temperature heat source with these. That's my lecture for today. I want to show you up close, so I'm going to kick back over to just a solo view, and I'm going to tip this camera because I was trying to decide exactly how I needed to do what. And you see these windows are framed in, and that's great, but this is a gingerbread. So we're going to use the Iron Orchid Designs frames mold, and this is the large frame. Let me show you the mold. This is the large frame section right here. And I have some precast, which is great because we can put these here and here. Now I tried to use it here and here, but if you'll look, there is a dormer here, and this is not going to fit. I think there's supposed to be one here too, but it's not built in. So we can leave this alone and make this a beautiful bay window, but over here, we're going to have to cut this down. So I think what we'll do is use our clay and cast our clay to do this window. That way we can cut the section out where we need to go over that dormer. These windows, this will work perfectly. Now, this is a little big. I have a little bit smaller frame that we can utilize, and I'll show you what we'll do. Remember when we started, the box is not close enough to me, so I'll glue this on and talk at the same time. When we started, and typical of any of these 1970s doll houses, they had little plastic Tudor style window pieces, and they were tacky and they're old and they're plastic. So what I thought we might do is take the smaller mold frame, which is solid, and we'll put it over these windows, and then we can use a transfer piece to make that a Christmas window. There's our train. I'm gonna reach in from the back side and give a little bit of pressure so this stays on after I place it. And once we paint this, I love that the peak is on here. I thought about trimming it out, making another mold and just trimming this out, but you know what? If we do these oppositionally, it'll give it such a neat texture when we finish. That one's on. All right, we have another one and we need to repeat. This is bowed a little bit, so let's grab the heat gun, give it a little high temp. Now, if you'll notice, see the little chunks that are missing right here and right here? These are my seconds. These are not my first quality. I missed something when I poured. So after we get this together and we're going for the final detail work, I'll take my Dremel and I'll smooth those down so that you won't notice that there's a mistake there. If you ever purchase precast resin molds from me, please know I will never ship something like this to you. I will use these second quality pieces for something I'm doing, and I'll correct my mistakes, but I don't want to send them to you and expect you to correct my mistakes. So, but I do sell the resin molds. You can buy just about any Iron Orchid design resin mold from me. I have some other molds that are not Iron Orchid design. I do not sell the mold. I sell the casting. And there's a difference. This is a casting. The silicone piece you make the casting from, well, that's the mold. So there are some molds that I do not sell, but I have the precast resin available for you. All right, now let's put this on. And boy, I'm gonna have to stretch to get to that. I'll just push on the back of the dollhouse. So a little bit of pressure, make sure I've got that on there straight. So if you come across one of these old dollhouses, or if you happen to have one, don't chunk it. Don't think it's worthless, because it can be remade into something so cool. And if you've popped in since we've been live, say hello this morning. Look how cute that's gonna be. Now I know the wood still shows around the outside. Caught it, dropped it. I need my tape, don't I? Let me grab some. I'll pick this up. How often does that ever happen, y'all? It didn't go glue side down. It went glue side up. Butter side down's what we call it. And you know, in Murphy's Law of Crafting, 9.5 times out of 10, that glue's what's gonna hit the floor. All right, let me put that back on gently. I'm gonna turn the dollhouse for just a minute, y'all. Put my glasses on. Let me make sure this is straight, because you know, working from the side, that could go wrong quick. So Chris, was it you last week who said you had a dollhouse like this in your attic and you might need to pull it out and do something different with it? Wouldn't this be fun? And once it's finished, you can change this for the seasons, or you can leave it alone, and you can have a gingerbread house, an heirloom quality gingerbread house that'll last you for like ever. Let's look at, those are a little smallish. Now, the bigger ones will fit. I thought I had another one on the table. I might. Here it is. Here it is. I do. The bigger ones will fit the top, but they're much bigger. So our choice here is a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger. And if I go a little bit bigger, then I'll have to create a piece to go inside there, which is not really that big a deal, is it? What do y'all think? The bigger windows that match the bottom, or the smaller windows that don't cover the whole section? Big window, little window. I think look, the little window will go right there. It's still smaller than the wood trim, but that's okay. I don't think that's a problem. We can put winter scenes and Christmas scenes. You can't see the top floor, can you? Let me show you. There we go. I think that right there, and I think this right here, and we can create, you know, I can take a paper backing and do an image to fit on the back of this. I just put a piece of paper down. Let me grab it. It's actually butcher paper. And butcher paper is so handy to have around. Let's look at this. See the butcher paper? It's thick. It's not as thick as cardstock. But if I cut this down, I can put it right inside the frame. I can glue it to the frame. I can go ahead and put the frame on. I think that's a great program. All right, let's do it this way then. You want to see me do this? Because I'm going to have my razor blade out. I know how much y'all love to see me with my razor blade. I don't know if I can turn this down quite enough, but let's see. Oh, sure. There we go. Let me tighten that back down. There we go. You can see me now, right? All right, let me move some of this extraneous material out of the way. Y'all, I have so many molds and I was so excited about this. All right, this one's bowed just a little bit, so I need to flatten it. Let's do that first, so when I cut my paper, it's cut correctly. Just a little bit of heat does the trick. Some of the deeper molds don't do this. You can't really reshape them if they're really heavy, thick molds. But these reshape nicely. Be careful as you bend them. They will break. We don't want to break our gingerbread windows. There we go. Flat, just like that. All right, and all I'm gonna do is trim out the edge of the paper. So that it will match the size of the frame. And I'll glue this on the back, and that way we can go ahead and put our window on. See how amazing it is to have the precast available? I love it. I'm addicted to pouring the resin because it's so much fun. It's so easy. And when I get ready to do a project, I have everything I need if I need molds right at my fingertips. Recut this. And if you have an X-Acto, this is a great time to break it out. It gets a little bit better trim on your paper than your scissors do. And I know, Sharon, you and Lynette scares the fool out of you when I break out that razor blade, but I promise I do pretty good with it. All right, I'm going to put glue on this. And I went around a couple of times, but I didn't heavy it up. And I'm gonna lay the paper on. There we go. And I wanna make sure I pull it taut so that when it dries, it doesn't ripple, and I'll be able to put a Christmas image right in there. I love that. I am so excited about doing this project. And I know last week on Tuesday, I was so excited I was gonna go live again and I was gonna do work, but we've been trying to get ready for the flower show, and I brought in more inventory, and you know, I did Thursday at 3 live also. And when I did Thursday at 3, I did a fireplace mantle, and it's pretty plain. And it looks like it needs to be dolled up with some molds too. I love that. What do you think? Do you love it too? I think it is wonderful. And now, let me take my handy little mouse and we'll prop this back up. There I am. There I am. Let's see if I can. There we go. Whoop. Y'all aren't going to believe what I did the other day. I knocked this off the table. I sure did. So I have one broken leg on my tripod. So I'm trying to be really gentle with it. Really gentle with it. All right, let me. But Sharon, you know I can do this. You know I can do this, right? And there's a little trim edge on the bottom right here. It's okay. We'll use that to our advantage when we get ready to finish the house. That little trim edge is not gonna, it is gonna bother me, isn't it? It is gonna bother me. All I'm gonna do is scrape the edge with my razor blade. Let's see if that's not gonna get the job done, Sharon. That's not gonna get the job done. So I'm just gonna lay it down and trim that edge so I can pull it off, because that'll bother me. It's for a little girl. It's for a special young lady. It has to be good. It has to look nice. And I'm so excited for this to be her Christmas. There we go. Little cleanup. All right. Now when I put that on the window, now we have a window to work with. And I think I can break out some decoupage paper and lay in there, or a piece of a Christmas transfer and lay in there. And, I'm gonna use my brush, and I've put a lot of glue on here. So I'm gonna take my brush and I'm just gonna spread the glue around the frame edge. Here we go. Enough so it will stay on. Reach in from the back, make sure that's on real well. I wonder if I could pop that wood off without tearing up the dollhouse. Probably ought to just leave it. Leave well enough alone. Leave well enough alone. Don't pull on it. Leave alone. Okay. Grab a couple of pieces of tape to keep that in place. Who plays with the molds? Who loves working with the molds? And who has not worked with them? Because you know I'm a fool for these molds. You can do anything with them. Anything at all. Well, you actually have to let's see, I want this and I want these. There we go. This is what the tape is for. There we go. So since this weekend is the flower show, pending the hurricane party, we won't do a class this weekend. However, if you are interested and you want to build a smaller scale gingerbread house, we'll do that class next weekend. All materials will be included. All you have to do is make a reservation. Now, my next one is, where did I put it? Right here. This one is black. I dyed this. We're not doing Halloween house. But remember how I said this one's not going to fit because of the dormer. So we don't want to use this one. What we want to do is grab our mold and we'll make that window and then we'll cut it down so it will fit. And then we will take our trim molding and we'll do the door. And we have several more windows to do, but these will be our smalls. That will be our small window. Let's put that on. And let's see. It doesn't fit the entire section. That's okay. That's okay. We can tidy up these little raw edges with some snow or some more moldings, but we don't need quite as much glue on this because the entire framework is not going to touch, just part of it. And I use a combination. I use Tight Bond Quick and Thick glue. That's this. I also use the Aleene's. I use the Aleene's tacky glue. This stuff is good. So between the two of them, if I'm doing a big project like this, I will usually grab my Tight Bond because it's a bigger container and it's easier to get to it and it lasts a lot longer. If I'm doing a real quick small project, I'll grab the Aleene's. But if you have either one of these brands in your toolkit, you've got something really great to work with. Now, let me grab another piece of tape and we'll tape this on. Because I painted first, it's a little slippery. It's got a nice satin finish to it. So the glue has a tendency to slide. In order to keep, especially the heavier molds in place while they're drying, just put a couple of pieces of tape on, definitely one from the bottom, one from the top. That'll hold it in place and that way it won't slide around and get all crazy on you. Now, I thought about what we would do to compensate for the jelly beans, because we don't have jelly beans. And most of the, most of your gingerbreads have jelly beans on them. And they're just, because it's supposed to be like candy, right? So in looking at my molds this morning, trying to figure out which ones had the pieces we needed, I found this little piece in the Cameos mold, and it is, it's beautiful. And it is just about right. And of course we have little hearts, they could be candy hearts. And let's see. So here it is. I only have one cast, but that's okay. We can do these in clay because these will cast and pop really quickly. But look at that little mold. Isn't that cute? So that'll give us some very distinct jelly bean pieces on the in-between. I think that looks kind of magical in between the windows. And I'm not going to use the precast, but I'm in love with the brand new baubles. So if you come in my store, you're going to see ice cream buckets full of precast molds. Now, these are amazing and fun. Look at this bauble. Isn't that cute? Won't that look delicious right on either side of those windows? We can even take a combination because we have the longer baubles, and we can come all the way down the side of the house with baubles. And that makes beautiful, magical molding on the side of the house. This is gonna look so good. I am gonna use the resin for these. And I'll tell you a little trick. I don't mean to keep bopping you back and forth, but let's go right here for a minute because I wanna show you a neat thing. Before I put the glue on these, in order to make sure that I lay them out exactly the way I like them and want them to be, I take my precast. I want to decide how far down I want these. I think I want something else along the bottom edge under the window. So I'm going to go about midway with the window, and I'm going to tape this in place. Just like it's glued, even though it's not, because this is how I'm going to see what this will look like. Now, if I don't want the tape to impede on my visual, just double it over and put it on the back, and that'll hold it on. And that way, once I lay these together, I can actually, you know what? If I move this up and leave a little spot, then I can take, where did I put my cameo? Then I can take my little cameo and I can mock this up, and I have a smaller one than this too. That could go there, it could go in either direction, but I think I like it just like that. I have a smaller one that I think I like better for right there. And this is the beauty of having the molds precast. You don't have to use the precast, and you can do this with hot glue and just make molds that you can use to mock up what you're going to do before you do it. I know a lot of times we wing it, but look how cool that's gonna be. And we didn't commit to something and stick glue all over it and then change our mind. But I love this. I absolutely love this. And with this across the front in some candy colors, I think we have a winner here. I think we have a winner here. Yeah, Chris, I've been selling the castings for about 2 years now, 2.5 years. Once I started casting them and I got used to it and I got good at it, I started stacking them, and it only makes sense. That way, if you want this mold and this mold and this mold, you don't have to buy 3 different sets. You can just simply buy the ones you want. I love this. I love the way this looks. And I think this is what we'll go with on both sides of the dollhouse. And we might do something a little different there in the middle. Isn't it wonderful to have the pieces to create something amazing from something that nobody wanted? Nobody wanted this dollhouse. Seriously, y'all. Sharon, you know it's been in here for a long time. I don't think they'll fit right here, y'all. I don't think we have the room to duplicate our look. It'll be too crammed up. But we can do something different over here. We can make this a double-sided. We can do this right here. What do you think? Do this side different than the other? Because I don't want the other side to look really crammed up and uneven. And I think we could make, even this side's gonna look different anyway, just because of the fact that the dormer is over here and we don't have one right here. And I think that's okay too. Let's build this in. Let's build this in just like that. I'll tack these up, and that way I'll have a little bit of time to look at it today. Sometimes when you're trying to figure out exactly what you want to do, the best thing you can do is mock it up and walk away from it and see how it looks over time. Same thing when you're painting. Don't be in such a rush to make it a finished product that you're not happy or unsure with how it's going to look. Take some time. Take some time, it's okay. Who puts you in such a rush? I'll tell you who puts me in a rush, me. Absolutely me. And then it's no good because I get in a frenzy and I end up not doing what I intended. So slow it down a little bit. The reason we craft is, you know, some of us make money doing it, and some of us do it upside down. Some of us do it because of the joy it gives us. I do it for both reasons. I love to craft something, and I love to craft something, and it's amazing that I get to do this for a living. But if you're crafting for fun, relax and let it be fun. Let it be fun. I'll need to cast another one of these cameos. I can do that real quick in the clay. Bear with me for a minute. I want to show you what I did with my clay. I keep it in a plastic bag. It got a little bit dry, so I took my spritzy water bottle, spritzed a little bit of water in, closed the bag, and went home Saturday, and now I have good clay. Always keep your bag closed and airtight. That means get all the air out as you're closing it, burp it, whatever you have to do, but make sure you keep the air out. Sharon, are you going to put molding in the pitch of the roof peaks? Yes, because you see there's a gap right there, and you know that's going to drive me crazy. What I think I'll do is some icicles. I've got the little pearl molding, and we can drop some icicles down. I'm going to finish all of the cedar shakes, and then I'll do the icicle molding across the top of the peaks. I will probably be so neurotic about it, Sharon, that I'm going to use some silicone to seal that up, because you know that'll drive me crazy. I still haven't painted the other half of the chair because it has made a really nice display, but I ignore it. I completely ignore it. I can't stand for things to be unfinished and staring at me. That's usually when they end up in timeout. So if you come in here and you see something unfinished, it's usually tucked in a corner in timeout. I think I have 2 pieces in timeout right now. And we'll just drop that in. I went ahead and glued that, and it's on. There we go. I love this look, and I think we'll go with this on this side of the house, and I'll figure something out on that side of the house. Now for the centers, Oh, and here's what I was talking about, Sharon. You see this little pearl molding right here? We can make icicles. Won't that be great? I will do these in resin for 2 reasons. It's much quicker with less breakage. I have found, I learned from Mara LaFay that you can put something this small together with clay and then put it in the freezer. And once you freeze it, it'll come right out and it'll have an amazing finish to it. It really will. Now I have misplaced my little, there we go, my little bobber right here. Let's go right here. How cool is it that we have 3 different trim moldings to choose from? So I will look at these. I think when I looked earlier before I went on, I absolutely love, this is Trimmings 1, and I love this molding right here for around the door. But this one beside it looks so much more magical. They all have their own unique look to them. And in order to do a trim around the door, see even this, these are big, exaggerated moldings. I love these. And this one's really neat. I think it's too big for the door, but you know, who knows? Who knows? Oh, in front, put molding in the pitch of the roof peaks in front. Up here, Sharon, let me, I'm pointing at it. You can't see it. In here, underneath, or here. This is, there's not a lot of lip edge right here. And if I put moldings under here, they're gonna have to be small. It's a great thought though. I might do it. Are you talking about on the flat surface here? Oh, you're talking about under here? Maybe. We might do that. I have an entire container of beads that I found yesterday. So I think we can do some other things here too. I think we can make it look amazing. So here we go with the cedar shake roof, just like a beautiful Victorian gingerbread house would be. And our frames molding, our baubles, and our cameos. And then of course our trim moldings and our acanthus scrolls. I have almost every mold out on the table right now, and I'll be working on this. So if you're local, come on by. I'll be working on this today. Nothing else is going to get done but this gingerbread house. I can see it. I know I have other things that need to get done, but this is such a priority. This is such a priority item. So I will continue to mock up and work through the pieces that I will use to make this come to a magical life. If you are interested in purchasing molds, please visit our website. If you are interested in purchasing the resin castings, please visit our website. All you have to type in on the search line is molds, if you want the physical mold. And if you want the resin castings, just type in resin castings on the search line. If there's something you want that you do not see in inventory, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me, because this is my rolling cart of resin castings inventory. All of these are precast resin from the various Iron Orchid Designs molds, and they are ready to ship. You can buy whatever pieces you are interested in. Don't forget, while we do not have the Boughs of Holly mold or the first generation Snowflakes mold for sale, we have the precast resin molds available for you. So let me know what you're looking for. If you are looking for some molds and you cannot find them, I probably have them precast in quick resin, and we only ship out our first quality. I'm going to jump off a little bit soon today because we're kind of at a stopping point, and I have a big ladder in front of the front door, so before I can open, I probably better finish stringing up my Christmas lights. Thank you so much for being with us today on Facebook and on YouTube. Message or call with any questions about any of the projects we do. If you're interested in making your own gingerbread house for Christmas this year, please let me know that you will be making a reservation, and make your reservation here at the store in person or online. The Gingerbread Dollhouse Workshop. Doesn't that sound like a good time? I look forward to having you visit with us. Thank you for being here today. Stay tuned on our Facebook page for update photographs. Sharon, thank you. I think it's going to be amazing too. Y'all have a wonderful day. Go grab a cup of coffee and create something amazing. I'll see you right back here Thursday evening for the pre-flower show sale live. And pray for a little bit of twist and turn and a calm down in that hurricane. Everyone who might be in the path of this hurricane, please stay safe. Be prepared, evacuate if you need to. And everyone stay tuned for updates on the PD State Farmers Market Fall Plant and Flower Festival, whether we will have a cancellation or a reschedule, or whether we will just move forward and have a party in the rain. I'll look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much for being here today, y'all. Have a wonderful day.